Hey friend, John McLennan here, and in this video you're going to learn how to play Can't You See as recorded by the Marshall Tucker Band on guitar. Now we're going to go over that opening finger picking part note for note, then we're going to go into the chord progression and I'll show you how to strum it. There's just 3 chords in the entire song. And then as a bonus, I'm going to show you some cool licks and fills that you can play in between the chords that you hear on the recording. But before we dive into it, if you're new to the channel, I've got a gift for you. I put together this awesome fretboard guide that's going to show you the 5 must-know chords and scales to map out the entire fretboard. And in fact, all 3 of the chords that we're using in this song today are on this page. So you can check it out. It's going to go along with this song. It's also going to show you the scales that go with the chords, which is super useful when we talk about playing lead and also playing fills off of the chords. So grab your copy completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below. All right, well with that said, let's break it down. All right, so the opening finger picking part sounds like this. 3, 4. All right, so we're essentially just using 3 chords. Let me show you those chords first. I've got a D, which is I'm playing from the 4th string down, open, 2, 3, 2. Now the next chord is a C sus2 chord. I play it like this. It's just 2 fingers. I'm playing the 3rd fret on the A string, then open D string, open G string, then the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, then open 1st string. So I'm playing all the strings but low E. And then for G, you could do this little trick where you just bring this finger up and then you mute off the A string. So that would be 3 on the low E, mute the A string, open, open, 3 on the 2nd string. There I mute the high E string as well. Now you could play that G, or sometimes I'll go to this kind of folk G, which is just 2 notes here, the 3rd fret of the low E and the 3rd fret of the high E. Those are the only fretted notes. Then the rest of the strings are open, except for the A string. I mute that one off. And that's gonna be a good chord grip when we go like, do a little fill like that off the G chord. So just to recap, we've got a D, a C sus2, and a G. And then the progression actually follows that order. So it goes D, 2, 3, 4, then to C, 2, 3, 4, then to G, 2, 3, 4, then back to D. So it's actually a 4-bar chord progression. You start and end with D. So when you loop it around, it's like 2 Ds. So D, C, G, D. D, C, G, D. That's the whole song. All right, now what the guitar does is it does this cool picking through those chords. So in the first measure, it goes. So with my finger picking hand, I'm really only using my thumb, my index, and my middle. Now my thumb often covers 2 strings. Usually it's like the root note string and then the adjacent string down. Then I'll use my index and middle. Now that's gonna move as we shift through the chords, but that'll give you just a general framework to start with. There isn't like a right and wrong with this, but I would start with that as a template for you. So we're gonna play the 4th string, then the 2nd string, then the 3rd string. That's the first beat, so. And there I'm going thumb, index, thumb. Then on the 2nd beat, we're gonna go. Okay, there I picked the 1st string, 2nd string, 4th string. Then you add your pinky to the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and that becomes a D sus chord, so. So the first 2 beats so far go. All right, the third beat is next, and that goes like this. So that's strings 3, 1, 2, 4. It's a little tricky here. Then the fourth beat finishes like this. So that is the second string, third string, first string, and then we play the open A string, and that's gonna ring open as we go to the next chord. So let me put this entire measure together slowly. 4, E, and A. 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. 3, E, and A. 4, E, and A. And up to speed. All right, then we shift to the next chord, the C sus2. And here we're gonna play. So what I played there was the 5th string, 4th string, 2nd string, and then the 1st string. Then we come back, 2nd string, 4th string. Then we do a pinch. Okay, and what I did was I took that C sus2, I added my pinky to the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and I do a pinch, 5, 2, and 1, all together, thumb, index, middle. And then you take the pinky off. So that's, then you do 1 strum. So this measure goes, that's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and. So here's the first 2 measures put together slowly. Then from here we go to that G shape, and I'm playing that folk style chord, so I switch to my ring and my pinky. I'm gonna do 2 strums. Then we're gonna go do a little roll here. This is the open 4th string, hammer to the 2nd fret, then play 3rd string, 2nd string. Then take that finger off and do the same strings, strings 4, 3, 2. And then play the 2nd fret of the A string and play the open 4th string. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Then we finish back on the D chord and go. Now here I'm mixing a little bit of strumming and picking together. 1 and 2 E and a 3 and a. So that's the D chord there, and then I reach up to get that sus and then back to just the D natural. So 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So all together, the opening part, note for note, sounds like this. 3, 4. Now, as the guitarist plays, it just sort of develops from there. So that will give you an idea of how you can pick this. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you an example of just sort of playing in this style. So I would start off that way, see if you can get that note for note. And then from there, you're just gonna kind of continue in that style through the chord progression. So here's an example of that. So it's a little bit different, but I'm just jamming there and trying to create the feel. Now from there, an easier way of playing this would be just strumming it. And that could be something like this. All right, so I snuck in one little lick as well. I'll show you that. But what I'm doing here is I'm taking that D chord and I'm just going 1 and 2 E and up. Just down, 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 up. And I'm kind of breaking up the strings. Bass, bass, and then treble. Then repeat. Then go to the next chord. And you could do that through the whole thing. Now I did this. That's a cool little fill there. That's going to the note F, E, D, so 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open, sliding there. Then hammer, open 5th string to the 2nd fret, open D. And then you got the D chord, you can go, do the little sus lick there. So that would sound like this. So try and work out that first part as note for note as you can, and then you can always just strum it. It's one of those songs where it's like, oh, it's an easy song, it's just 3 chords. But actually to do the guitar parts that are on there, they're incredible. Actually, I think they're pretty difficult. So take your time with this one and steal what you can, and then always know that you could just do the easy version by just playing, 1 strum on each chord and go through the whole thing. You could teach this to a beginner, who's just playing a couple chords, D, C, and G, or you could do a more advanced version where I'm showing you all this finger picking and stuff. So rewind the video and go over any parts that are unclear. And to help you put this together even more, be sure to grab my fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is going to show you the 5 must-know chords and scales to map out your entire guitar neck. And I used to look down at the guitar neck and feel so confused until I realized what I put on just this one page, and I want to give it to you completely for free to help you out. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or click the first link down below. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you in another video real soon.